Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today. So children, the lesson in English will be a lesson for standard 8th scholarship. Alright, so we're going to do a scholarship English lesson today. In fact, we're going to start with the very first lesson today. Now you already know about the paper pattern and you know about the topics that you're going to have for your scholarship exam. We have discussed it recently. So let me go and directly start with the first chapter. But before that, let me just remind you that English will be part of paper 1. Okay, and as a first language, you will have to answer 25 questions for 2 marks each. So you're looking at 50 marks for a scholarship English paper. Having said that, let me also tell you that your English paper will be divided into various categories. So you have various units. To be precise, you have 7 units. The first one deals with vocabulary. So we are going to look at the very first subunit in the first unit, vocabulary, and that is the meaning of synonyms. So we're going to look at what synonyms mean. So what is the meaning of synonyms, children? Synonyms simply mean words that have almost the same meaning. Now, since we started learning the language, that is, since we started learning English or maybe Hindi or Marathi, we also have always learned what are the meanings of words. Why? Because when you understand the meaning of words, then you understand the meaning of the sentence, and then you understand how to communicate well. So knowing words or improving your vocabulary is a very, very important exercise in learning any language. Okay, not only English but any language. So come on, let us see what are synonyms, and let us try and see what kind of questions will be asked based on this chapter, synonyms. So what are synonyms, children? Like we just discussed, synonyms are words that have almost the same meaning. So look here, that storm cloud is huge. Okay, so I want you to focus on the word huge. And you could also say that storm cloud is enormous. So see, you could replace the word huge with the word enormous without making a lot of difference to the meaning of the sentence. Okay, so that is why we say that these two words, huge and enormous, are synonyms. Okay, so this in simple words is the meaning of synonyms. Now we have been doing synonyms and we have been seeing meanings for many number of years now. Alright, now let us look at a few more examples of synonyms. So see, intelligent is synonymous with bright. Synonymous means they are synonyms of each other. So intelligent and bright are synonyms of each other. What about plentiful and abundant? They are also synonyms of each other. Plentiful and abundant. Okay, so plentiful means many and abundant also means many. So these words, these pairs of words have similar meanings, so they are synonyms of each other. Let us look at some more examples. So see here, accident is one word and mishap is another word. Now we are going to a slightly different angle here with synonyms. Now we are in standard 8th and we are a little grown up, so we have to learn things which are a little bit more, you can say, on a higher level. So now we will try to look at these synonyms by putting them into various categories of words. So we will try and see how synonyms can belong to the noun family, how they can belong to the verb family, how they can belong to the adjective family, and also the adverb family. Okay, so let us see a few examples of synonyms here now, which are nouns. So see, accident is synonymous with mishap. So what is an accident? What is a mishap? Something which should not have happened, but nevertheless it happened and it causes a little bit of harm. So that is the meaning of an accident, and the mishap also means the same. So both these words are nouns. Okay, so like you say action, you say deed, you say conduct, you say behavior, okay, you say toil, you say labor, fury, anger. So these are all examples of synonyms which are nouns. Now let's move on and let us look at the next category of synonyms. So see here, if I say to bloom, it is synonymous with to flower. Now what is happening in both these pictures? Where the flowers are blooming in the morning, or you can say the flowers are flowering. Okay, they are opening up the buds. The buds are opening in order to transform into flowers. So this action, actually it is an action. So these two phrases, you can say, both these words or both these phrases, to bloom and to flower, are verbs as well as their synonyms. Okay, so they belong to the family of verbs. These two synonyms, they belong to the family of verbs. See, you can think about so many other pairs of words also which are synonyms as well as they are verbs. For example, determine is decide, okay, immerse is dip, restore is repair, convert is change. So you can pick up your dictionary. See, your dictionary is your best friend if you want to study the language. So you can pick up your dictionary and you can try and search for so many different words. Think of a word. For example, suppose I think of the word deny. Alright, I can look up in the dictionary to find out its synonym. And deny and refuse, both of these words are verbs. So some pairs of synonyms could be nouns, some other pairs could be verbs. Let us go to the next class category of synonyms, where we have exhausting and tiring. So see, a particular work is exhausting, means it takes the life out of me. Okay, I don't have any energy after doing this work. It is exhausting. At the same way, if you say a particular work is tiring, means the same, that after doing this work I do not have energy to do anything else. So exhausting and tiring, these two words are also synonyms of each other. Now what are we doing here when we are using the word exhausting and when we are using the word tiring? We are describing something. We are describing an activity, we are describing a work, okay, we are describing a duty, an action. So what is it then? Both these words are adjectives because they're describing something. Okay, so synonyms can also be put into the category of adjectives. Alright, and finally we can have synonyms which are adverbs also. But let us look at some more examples. Let me tell you a few more examples of synonyms which could be adjectives. So see, here you have adequate and enough. I have adequate food with me. I have enough food with me. Okay, calm, peaceful. See, these two are also synonyms of each other. Significant and important. Alright, timid and fearless. Someone is timid and someone is fearless. Okay, these two, all these words, they are, timid and fearful, not fearless. Okay, timid and fearful, someone who's scared of everything. So all these words are adjectives and they are also synonyms of each other. Okay, now let's move on to the last category of words which could be synonyms. So see here, rarely and seldom. So now what is the meaning of these two words? Rarely or seldom could mean something which happens very less number of times. Okay, so something which happens not often, once in a while. Rarely, seldom. Let's look at an example sentence here. Radha rarely or seldom comes to school. So maybe Radha has got some problem at home. We should find out. But anyways, Radha, she rarely comes to school, means Radha hardly comes to school. she she never comes to school regularly. Or if I say Radha seldom comes to school, the meaning is the same. So these two words, rarely and seldom, are actually adverbs. Okay, so see how we have looked at it in a different angle. Instead of just going on reading pairs of synonyms, we tried to put them into 4 different groups. Now you could say well and satisfactorily are also synonyms, which are adverbs. She does her duty well. She does her duty satisfactorily. So see, the adverb describes the verb, isn't it? So Radha rarely comes or seldom comes means it is showing us the action of how often Radha comes to school. So it is talking about the verb coming. In the same way, you can also say uniformly, constantly, finally, eventually. So all these words are synonyms of each other. Okay, they are all pairs of synonyms. Now children, this was about the meaning, and there are some examples of synonyms also that we discussed. Now let us see some exercises. Now always when we do scholarship lessons, children, we also try to solve as many number of examples as possible, so you get an idea of how the questions are going to be and how you should try and understand the question and try to give the answers. Okay, so come on, let's move on to that exercise now. But before we go there, let us discuss and look at a few more synonyms. Alright, so see, I will not read all of them for you. You can pause the video here and read all of them in detail. You can take your own time to read and go through all these synonyms. Now see children, there are so many thousands and thousands of words in the dictionary. So it is not possible for us to go through all of them. Okay, but remember, practice will make you perfect. So keep on reading, keep on looking at the dictionary. Like I told you, the dictionary is your best friend. So keep the dictionary close to you. Then you will be able to master this. Okay, so let's look at a few examples. So you have good and fine, which are synonyms of each other. You have large and big, which are synonyms of each other. You have infant and baby, which are synonyms of each other. Exit and leave, which are synonyms of each other. So now you can also think from the angle of into which group will this come. So infant and baby. So which group of words could this belong to? Yes, they are both nouns. Okay, so you could also think from this angle now. So I will leave you here to pause the video and read this in detail. Okay, now when we continue, we will go to the next part where we look at the patterns of questions. So from this particular chapter, they could ask you the questions in different ways or in different patterns. So let us take a look at the various patterns of questions that could be asked. Now children, for a scholarship exam, it is also very, very important for us to read the question and understand it properly. Many of us, what we do is, we tend to hurriedly read the question and give the wrong answer, even if we might know the right answer. So focus and concentrate on reading questions properly before you come up with the answers. So these could be the patterns of questions which could be asked. Pattern number 1, choose the correct synonym of the given word. Simple. Okay, a very simple type of question. The second pattern could be choose the 2 correct synonyms of the given word. So see here, you have to choose 2 synonyms, 2 answers for one word. Okay, pattern number 3 could be choose the correct meaning of the underlined word. So meaning and synonym, it means the same. Then they could tell you to choose the correct pair of synonyms. So now here you might get 4 pairs of words, okay, 4 jodi of words, out of which only 1 pair is correctly matched, that is both of them are synonyms, the others might not be. So you have to be very careful, concentrate, read it properly. Okay, question pattern number 5 could be choose the pair which are not synonyms. So the exact opposite of what you did in the previous type of question. In the question type 4,
You selected the correct pairs of synonyms. Now here you have to choose the pair which are not synonyms. So out of the 4 pairs, 3 will be synonyms and 1 will be not. So you have to select that one which is not. Alright? And in the last kind of paper question, you will have choose the 2 correct alternatives. So 2 right answers in other way. Okay? So these are the patterns of questions which could be asked. Now what we will do is, we will try to solve a few of the questions from each paper pattern. Like I told you, the number of words in the dictionary is exhaustive, children. So if you try to do an exercise which covers all the words, it is an impossible task. So what we do samples. Alright, and depending on the samples, you can do more reading and you can improve your knowledge and make it better. So let's come to pattern 1. Choose the correct synonyms of the given words. I would advise you to read the question properly. Pay attention closely to the question when you're reading it, instead of just trying to go for the answer. So the word is impotent. I-M-P-O-T-E-N-T, impotent. Now see, it sounds very similar to the word important, but those are 2 different words. Okay, so now you have to find out which is the correct word, or which is the correct synonym for impotent. So is it important? Is it powerless? Is it strong? Or is it dangerous? Now when you're doing such questions, children, always pause the video and try to figure out the answers yourself. Okay, because I will go on giving you the answers. It will become a ready-made exercise and then you will not have fun. So if you want to make the lesson interactive, what we can do is, you can pause the video and you can find out the answer. Now during a live virtual class, I used to conduct quiz competition between 2 schools, but that is unfortunately not possible here. Okay, so let us try to make it as interesting and interactive as possible. So please pause the video here and try to figure out which is the right answer. So you have 4 options, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the right answer is answer number 2, powerless. So you say the drug is impotent, means the drug or the medicine, it doesn't have any power of healing anymore. So it has become powerless. Okay, so let us go to one more example. So choose the correct synonyms of the given words. So you have the word significant. Significant. So let's see the 4 options. So again you have important, you have powerless, you have strong and dangerous. The same words which were there as option for the previous answer. So then if you read it and if you look up in the dictionary, what will be the answer? It will be important. So see, there is so much of a difference between the 2 words important and important. There's a very slight difference in the way you say it. Okay, but the meanings are totally different. Important means not at all powerful, whereas important means powerful. Okay, so this is one more example for the pattern 1. Let us go to here the 3rd example here. Choose the correct synonyms of the given words. So you have the word caution. Okay, so what could be the meaning of caution? So is it burden? Is it capable? Is it warning or knack? Yes, so try and relate this word with a word you might have heard or read or seen before. So the answer is answer number 3, warning. So you can relate caution to the word precaution. Okay, some warning which you get before you do something. Precaution. So these are certain synonyms. Now let's come to pattern 2, where we do the same exercise but on a little larger scale. That is, you choose 2 correct synonyms of the given words. So there will be some words which are given to you. You have to select 2 correct synonyms of the words which are given. So let's see. You have anguish. So see, anguish is a word. So what do you think are the synonyms of anguish? Now you have 4 words here, so you have to select 2 of the words from this box. So is anguish another word for wonder? Is it a word for torment? Is it a word for agony or shock? So anguish means torment as well as agony. Torment, anguish means a lot of trouble. It could be physical trouble, mental trouble. Okay, so when you're going through a bad time in your life, you could say that I was anguished, or it was a time of anguish for me. I have tried to pick up words which are slightly little difficult, children. Okay, but you will get to see so many words in the dictionary. Let us look at another question with the same pattern. Choose 2 correct synonyms of the given words. Now why am I telling you to read the question carefully? Because remember, in the previous one it was 1 correct synonym. Here there are 2 correct synonyms. So you might just miss giving the second answer if you do not read the question properly. Okay, you will just mark 1 answer and move ahead. So calculate. So does it mean work out something? Does it mean to accumulate something? Does it mean to stimulate, or does it mean to determine? So calculate means what? What are the different contexts in which this word could be used? So the 2 answers are, one is work out and the last one is determine. So when you say you work out the cost of this project, that means you're calculating the cost of the project. You could also say, let us determine the cost of the project, so we know how much money we have with us. Okay, so calculate could mean work out, or it could also mean determine. Moving on, let's go to one more example, but it is in pattern 3. Choose the correct meaning of the underlined words. So now there will be a particular word which is underlined in the sentence. You have to choose the meaning of that particular word which is underlined. So you will see, in a way, we are all trying to arrive at synonyms. Okay, only way the question is worded in a different pattern every time. So let's see. He looked in amusement at the exaggerated contours of the cartoon. Here, so it means he looked in amusement and wonder at the exaggerated contours. So now what is contours of the cartoon? So he's looking at a painting, he's looking at a drawing, and he's amused. Okay, so what is it that is amusing him? Contours means what? Is it model? Is it details? Is it outlines or shadows? So here contours means the outlines. Okay, the lines which you draw before you start filling in the colors. So the outlines means contours. Okay, so this is a new word for us. Okay, let's move on and let us look at example 2 in pattern 3. People gave ghastly reports of the killings. Ghastly. Now sometimes we can also guess the meaning of a word by looking at it in a sentence. Now see here, people gave reports of the killings. So killings is something which is not very pleasant. Okay, so what kind of report could people give? Now if I tell you people gave some kind of reports of their visit to Ooty, so then you can imagine, yes, they've gone to Ooty, so it might be a pleasant experience. So many a times, children, you can also find out the meaning of words in context to the sentence. Okay, the way in which it is used in a sentence. So see, ghastly could mean ghostly. Could it mean harmful? Could it mean dangerous? Or could it mean shocking? So ghostly means, why? Because it goes very close to the word ghastly, but they are 2 different words. Okay, ghostly has got something to do with bhoot and the paranormal. Alright, something which is extraterrestrial. So ghostly is got nothing to do with ghastly. What about harmful and dangerous? So will a report harm you or will it be dangerous for you? So you have to think in those ways. Shocking. Let's see whether shocking will fit the bill here. So it is shocking. Why? Because the other three do not match. Ghostly doesn't match. Harmful and dangerous also doesn't match well. Okay, so this was example 2 in pattern 3. Let us go to pattern 4 now. Choose the correct pairs of synonyms. So you have to now select pairs, correct pairs of synonym. Now synonym is not coming alone, it is coming along with its pair. Let us look at an example question. See, initiated, ended, connected, unattached, indigenous, native, evasion, scarcity. So most of them are big words because we are in standard 8th and appearing for a scholarship exam. Okay, that is why most of the words are big. So now initiated and ended, could they mean the same thing? I don't know. Let's look at the other ones also. Connected and unattached. So they don't look like synonyms to me. Let us look at the other two and decide which of the two could be synonyms here. So out of 1, 2, 3 and 4, we have answer number 3, which is the correct pair of synonyms. Indigenous. Indigenous means something which is made in that particular place, something which belongs to that particular place. And native also means something which belongs to a particular place. So indigenous and native are synonyms of each other, whereas most of the others, initiated and ended, they are opposite words. Okay, connected and unattached are also opposite words. Let's come to the next example in this pattern, pattern 4. Charitable and benevolent, cautious and cold, scarcely, carefully, reliable, resilient. So which is the correct pair of synonym here? Yes, it is the first one, charitable and benevolent. Charitable means someone who's got a very large heart. Okay, someone who donates a lot. And even benevolent means someone who's very, very gracious and very, very generous. There is one more word which you can use for these two words, that is philanthropy. Someone who's a philanthropist means someone who gives away a big part of his or her earning to charity. Alright, so charitable and benevolent are synonyms of each other. Let us come to one more example where we choose the correct pair of synonyms. Prevent, sustain, impervious, impenetrable, alight, bored, obscure and frank. So again, I will not repeat this instruction after every question, children. So remember what you are supposed to do. You're supposed to pause the video after seeing the question and find out the answer. There is one more instruction towards the end of the video, that is after you finish watching the video, you're supposed to go to the description box and do a few tasks there. Now what the tasks are, I will explain to you in detail at the end of the video. So wait for it. Alright? Yes, now let's come back to this question. So which could be the correct pair of synonym? Yes, it is answer number 2. Impervious, impenetrable. So these words are used when you describe Shivaji Maharaj's forts, you know, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's forts. They were impervious, they were impenetrable. That is, you could not enter them. You could not try and trespass there. You could not try and enter that place by force or enter that place stealthily. That is by, you know, you were trying to enter a place without the owner knowing it. So that is not possible with many of Shivaji Maharaj's forts. So this is a word which means something which is very, very strong. Alright. So this was one more example in pattern 4. Now let's go to pattern 5. Choose the pairs which are not synonyms. So now you are looking at pairs which are not synonyms. So they could be opposite words of each other. Okay, so that means that now you have become such good masters at understanding synonyms that now you can easily pick up words which are not synonyms as well. So let's see. Satisfied, morose, stale, rancid, congenial, pleasant, obscure, frank. So out of this, some of the words are not synonyms, whereas certain pairs are synonyms. So let us see what the answer could be. It is answer number 1, satisfied and morose. So someone who's satisfied means someone who's happy, whereas someone who's morose means face is always hung like this and never happy with anything in life. Okay, so these are not synonyms, satisfied and morose. Let us take one more example here. Choose the pairs which are not synonyms. So you have pride, vanity, sad, morose, hard, fragile, obscure, unclear. So come on, find out which could be the synonym of each other. So pride and vanity. Okay, pride person and vain person. Yes, they seem to be having the same meaning. Sad, morose, we just saw. Alright, what is the meaning of morose? So what about the other two? Which one of them could be the answer? Yes, it is answer 3, option 3, hard and fragile. Wood is hard. It cannot break easily, whereas glass is fragile, breakable. Very, you can say you have to handle it with a lot of care. So this is a pair, hard and fragile is a pair which is not a synonym. Let us go to the last type of question that we have. Choose the 2 correct alternatives. You're supposed to choose 2 correct alternatives. So you have the headmaster dash Gaurav as he saved the drowning child. Now whenever there is a sentence which is given to you children, you always have the opportunity of trying to understand the meaning from the sentence which is given. Okay, so the headmaster dash Gaurav as he saved the drowning child. So did Gaurav do a good thing or did he do a bad thing? Yes, he did a good thing. So come on, let's see. So can you say admired, praised, prayed or scolded? So which 2 could be the correct answer? You could say he admired Gaurav, the headmaster admired him and he said, wow, you did such a good job, you're so brave. Okay, or you could say that he praised him also. So the meaning could be the same. Alright, so this was about choosing 2 correct alternatives. Let us take one more example. So see here, the Ashoka tree stood dash. Okay, so could it be the Ashoka tree stood heavy, the Ashoka tree stood tall, the Ashoka tree stood wavy, or it stood straight? So how could you describe the posture or the poise of the Ashoka tree? So you could say the Ashoka tree stood tall and straight. Okay, so this was example 2.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions. And note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learnt a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.